topic for today's discussion is, does the limited capacity to plan for the future affect our growing reluctance to marry young?
It's a mouthful.
Yes and no, because yes, I guess it's both. Like, yes, to say yes in Zim, but also at the same time yes globally. If we're being honest, yes, globally, a lot of people aren't getting married younger because realistically speaking, you're like, I want to achieve my goals, I want to do this, I want to do that before I get married. And then now we have to have our goals together sometimes, not always like apart. Like, I mean, like with some people, they're like, I'm still going for my goals and you are either coming on the ride with me or you do your goals, I'll do my goals.
I think it's actually a generational issue because now everyone's like, it's like, you know what, I want to do me. Like, I've heard that statement so many times. It's like, I'm just going to do me. And then, like, if someone comes along, young people are like, I just want to get everything straight, you know, get a good job, get my money, get my house, get my car. And then you're like, okay, now I'm ready for marriage. It's like a reluctance to be like, I'm not going to get into anything before I have something of my own.
In the United States, when you go to university on a school loan, like you get a loan for university, you don't have to start paying that loan back until you've gotten your degree, and with some of the loans, until you've gotten a job.
Yeah.
So they're giving you the opportunity to kind of set yourself up, and then maybe you'll build together or you don't build together. That's completely up to you if you're in a relationship. But they're giving you the right and the ability to set yourself up and then like hit your goals. And whether you do that with someone or not, that's totally different. Here we don't have that anymore. You can't get a mortgage. You can't get a loan where you're like, I need a loan because I need to go to university. It's not possible for you to be like where you can be like, okay, these are my goals and this is how I'm going to get there, with everyone else assisting you, whether it's like you feel like it's a right that they assist you or it's just that the government is willing to assist you.
I feel like in us talking about the marriage bit, I feel like none of us have mentioned the idea of loving the person that you're with. I feel like it's almost as if saying that the idea of marriage, it's now no longer just this idea of, oh no, we like each other and we're committing to each other. It's now this idea where marriage now has become this thing of like, no, it's
contract almost.
It's it's we have to build something, we have to do something. There's something that's marriage can't be just, oh no, we really like each other and we're going to do that.
I know a couple of people who are like, 34 now, 35, and they've been doing this music stuff for like since they were like 21, and they're still not known or they still haven't progressed, you know, to the expected like
Stereotype.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I mean, if I was to date a person who's like a musician, I think I would have to be really strong to be like, this is it. Like, I mean, Oliver Mtukudzi, for example, like his wife, she stuck through. Like, he wasn't making money until like way later on, and that's crazy. Like, to be like, this is it. This is my life. This is my husband. I am going to, you know, invest my life. I will go to work.
I want to talk about you two guys. First of all, we'll focus on the second part of the question, marriage. Is that a goal for you guys? Yes or no?
It is. It's a goal.
Pause. Zash, do you want to get married? Yes or no?
The short answer is yes. That's the short answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. The long answer.
The long answer is yes, because I have to.
You have to?
Yeah.
Why do you have to get married?
Okay, so honestly speaking, if the whole process, and honestly, I am what you would call, I'm a third culture kid. So I've grown up, half my life I've spent here in Zimbabwe, half my life I've spent in the States. And so I, unfortunately or fortunately, I have a lot of American sensibilities. So when it comes to the idea of marriage, for me, it's just sort of like this thing is like, okay, fine, we decide we want to get married because we love each other and whatnot, and then that's it. But in Zimbabwe, there's a whole lot of other stuff that comes with it that gives me social anxiety, personally. And also because if it were possible, the reason why it's a long answer for me is because if it were possible for me and the person that I love,
Dinky.
yeah,
Just highlighting
if it was possible for me and Chiedza to just live together and like just build our lives that way, I would do that, because I don't see what the point of having the piece of paper is. I think sometimes the piece of paper we give so much
emphasis on it.
So much emphasis on it. I will always respect a couple who has been together for like, I don't know, for like 20 years, and they have kids, they've built a life together, and they have never got married, I will always respect them more.
You guys know that in Zimbabwe there's a law. If a couple lives together for, I think it's over 5 years in Zimbabwe.
Oh, civil.
Yes, yeah,
It's like that worldwide.
It's civil. It's
Civil
No,
partnership.
but like in Zim, it's a civil partnership, but there's like no legality papers that are necessarily with it.
Yeah.
But the moment you guys are like, no, we're done, you can actually just go. Like, no offense, Chidza can go to court and be like, listen, yeah, I've been with this man for over 5 years. I want my half of his shit done. And you're like,
But also, it's the same like in marriages. That's when you need to sign a prenup. Though.
But it's true.
That's when you need to sign prenups,
Yeah.
because it's like that can happen.
yeah, no, but I think the thing is, the thing that people don't realize is that that option is available. You get where I'm coming from? Like, you can still be with that person. You don't necessarily need the marriage license to be in the same type of situation. You get what I mean?
I just honestly think, like, because
I told you I love
but
you.
but that's the thing as well, because honestly the reason why she and we've had the conversation before, the reason why she gets upset is because of social conditioning. She thinks that she needs it, like, and it's the same thing, and it's the
It's really not social. It's really my family, my mother and my father.
But that's
no.
but that's
Because I haven't heard this. I like to know what he's talking about.
it's still the same thing. Whether, like, yes, it happens in your family, but the family, it's also an idea of social conditioning. Because do you think your parents don't want you to be loved and be and
No,
to
obviously they do.
yeah. So I think it's just a case of, the fact is, it's just people feel better about it because it's like, okay, fine, he said that he's going to be there and he's not lying. It's almost like we don't trust each other as a culture anymore. It's just like, no, have the piece of paper. But honestly speaking, the only reason why I'll get the piece of paper is because it'll get the families off my back, and because it makes taxes and like bank accounts and
Traveling
property.
and all that.
It makes that so much easier.
I think that's why people don't want to do the civil union. It's the taxes part.
Oh.
If we're being honest, like
Oh,
globally.
so like out of convenience. Oh, it's another convenience.
It's a convenience. Being married is a convenience because then now, like, okay, a perfect example is England and South Africa. As like, when we have a baby, I cannot travel with my child without him signing a letter saying I agree for my wife to take the child on a vacation.
It came out of me though. Like, goddamn.
Thank you. But I cannot travel to South Africa. I cannot leave England. Botswana, all those places, and even in Zim, there was a time in Zimbabwe you could not get a child's passport without the father's agreement.
Yeah.
They actually they stopped that law because a woman went and she's just like, listen, yeah, I've been the sole care provider for this child. She sued the government, and that's why Zim, the law changed.
Regardless of what's going on economically, socially, I feel people should be able to plan regardless. Because listen, you're going to be blown by the wind because you need to anchor somewhere. Fine. If the winds are rough, you need to say, okay, fine, this is my plan, this is what I'm going to do. Either because if not,
That's my anchor. That's all it is, I think.
Okay.
That's all. I'm not saying it to sound like some type of way, but I think like for any.
Okay, what do you mean? That's your anchor. Shades is your anchor.
I'm saying, like, so we say in an ideal world, we're saying that it's very limited. It's very hard to plan for anything or whatever. But if you have your person, then that's your anchor. That's your one thing that you
Nothing's
can.
easy though.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's like, at least you and your person can have an agreement that, listen, we're going to agree to fight things out for ourselves. If your plan can't be in land or assets and stuff like that, then your plan can be with each other to say, if this happens, then I will pick up the slack here. If this happens, you pick up the slack there. If this happens, this is how we'll deal with it.
Isn't that like how our relationships work though?
I don't think so.
No.
Do you want to get married?
If I do, I do. If I don't,
Yes or no?
I'm not.
At
Definite no.
In this moment in time, no.
I feel like when people say those type of things, it's, and I'm not necessarily calling you out. You just so happen to be the person that said this, but you would like to, but you were not necessarily optimistic. You have no hopes to. So I feel that you would somewhat, to an extent, just like it to happen. You're not necessarily planning for it.
Happen.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it happens,
And that's
it
what we're talking about,
happens.
inability to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So already what you're saying is, I feel you're setting yourself up not to get married.
I'm not planning for marriage. I'm one of those people who's actually like, you know what?
So you're planning for yourself.
Yeah.
Doing you, like you were saying
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because
I said I'm me. Like I said.
she is very
So
a path before anything else comes along.
Ty,
Yeah.
was marriage ever in your peripheral? Was that something that you aspired to, something that you wanted?
Definitely. I grew up in a very privileged household insofar as my mother and father dated for 6 years before actually getting married. So by the time they got married, they had everything worked out. There was not a single occasion that me nor my two siblings saw my parents raise their voices at each other, ever. I mean, they didn't even get mildly upset with each other. So coming from that point, it was a wonder to see where two people can be so in tune with each other that they literally boost each other no matter what situation it is. And they'll always have a plan for the other. I mean, even when my dad got terminally ill, Mum was there. And it didn't matter if she'd had a rough day and barely slept the night before, she would make sure that she could get up so that he would be okay. And then the next day, if he was good, he'd treat her. Get up, make her breakfast and all that kind of stuff and let her rest. Deal with us kids as best he could. So, having something like that, that's something I've always aspired to.
That's a blueprint. That was a blueprint for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's some people now who don't even have a personality because all they're waiting for was to be married. And now that they're married, it's like,
blah.
What
This
happens
is it.
now?
what happened to that person?
Yeah.
And it's a horrible thing. I think that, no one's plan is the same.
Yeah.
But
No one's the same.
no one is the same. No one's plan is the same. But we're conditioned to believe that, life should go in a certain way. And that's the problem, because some people, like what you're saying, you get married, but you're not happy. You don't want to be, but, because you were told you have to, because you're told it's the right thing to do. But sometimes people don't even believe in that.
Speaking to Ty's family, why they seem to be such a success. They had that huge time of dating, that 6 years of dating, which I think for some people, especially especially like nowadays, I think some people find that very
Intimidating.
They'd be like, oh wow,
frustrates,
that's so. And even I know, even for some people, I've been dating Chiedza for like 3-4 years. We both feel like we're not in the place where we can get married yet, but people are like, cool, what's going on? How far?
How do you
Like
feel?
people push, but in a case like I said with your parents, they had that time to really learn each other, figure each other out, and then it's really funny. Me and Chiz were actually talking about. Remember yesterday?
Yeah.
There's friends of ours who they're based in the UK, but they have 2 kids with each other. They're not married, but they're so happy. They're so happy, and we always say like it's so funny because we look as much as we look on Instagram and you see like people driving Ferraris and wearing tight clothes and people like relationship goals. But we saw those guys and we're like, that's true
a
relationship goal.
Yeah.
Not tight clothes.
Yeah.
No, no time for the bit.
But I want
And
Ferrari.
the nice thing is, even like the relationship they have with their children, like they have a 7-year-old boy, and then they have a new baby that's like 2 months old, a girl. And this relationship that they have with their kids, it's just nice because it's like they don't have that stress of, well, it's my husband, or the pressure from society, basically. They're just happy.
And it's not like they
just
lack,
peace.
and it's not like they actually lack planning in their
Yeah.
life, because even if you talk the guy Shingi, he's super business minded, and so he's always making plans for them, and
Yeah.
they're actually set up. It's just not the traditional plan, but the plan is there.
Okay.
I've had a lot of friends who have been in divorces and through hell, and as much as I had a blueprint of what to do, people who come out of broken homes, depending on how they take it, it's all up to the person individually.
Yeah,
But I've seen a lot of
true.
people take it as a blueprint of what not to do, and then absolutely saw, and have a wonderful relationship now. Whether they're married or not, they are on levels that I wish I could get to.
Yes, somebody who may come from a broken home may be may be scarred and whatnot, but somebody who comes from a home that works may be lazy. And I'll say that in to put it in a context that you can understand. It's the same thing that happens when people say rich kids, they
lazy.
don't have the same things that make them successful that
Than
the
the
parents
parents.
did. Because when you don't have a blueprint, you have to work so much harder to figure out the things that work. But if you think, in fact, not if you think, if you know that you already have the blueprint, because, oh, I know how a marriage works. My parents had a great marriage. It'll work out fine. And then
By default, you think.
by
Yeah.
default you think, and as soon as something starts going wrong, you're just like, this never happened with my parents. I'm not going to fight through this. There's something wrong with the person I'm with.
I don't think I would use my parents as a blueprint for my marriage because they're too, like, I don't want kids, and they have 4 kids. So it's like, how will I use? I guess maybe the communication that they have between each other and them being best friends, like, that's pretty cool, and I want that for my marriage. but I don't want exactly what they had. Like, I want it to be different in my own way. Like, and love is different. So, I don't know. Blueprints, like, I don't know about the blueprint thing.
The more effort you put into a relationship, the more you'll get out of it.
Good
If
point.
you-
Yeah, that's fine.
That's my man.
Yes. Yes.
That's my man. That's my man.
We get it.